Yo, 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 and welcome back to Creeps and Crime Podcast. I'm Taylor.
And I'm Morgan. And this is a special edition creepy account for Halloween.
Halloween. This is Halloween. This is Halloween. Halloween.
Happy Halloween, guys. Spooky little boys and girls.
Oh, we're so excited. And if you guys watched our Instagram, we have some special drinks. And if you're watching on YouTube, hey, cheers. How are you doing?
Cheers. How are we doing
So
over
glad to
there
have
on
you. Hey,
YouTube?
if you
Hopefully this one's up.
Yeah,
Hopefully it
literally.
posts.
Okay, because 108 did not.
108 hated us.
No, yeah, we'll see about 109. We haven't done that one yet, so we'll see. But you guys have already heard it, so you'll be able to tell us. But we are drinking some
Straight
witches.
vodka.
It's called Witch's Brew, but it's definitely
It's straight vodka.
straight vodka /
With
lemon
moonshine.
drop. Yeah, and we put moonshine in it.
No, your version of lemon drop is the squeeze of lemon juice. Boom.
No, because it's a lemon vodka and then another citrus type of liqueur.
You can tell that's liquor the way it's melting down into that.
I can't stand it. Typically around this time, we talk about like Halloween growing up, something we loved, something we hated, and what we miss about Halloween or love about it currently. So the last 2 years, I think we both picked exactly what our favorite outfits were, and it's because we forget every year what it was. But I remembered this year, bitches. So I wanted to ask you, what was your least favorite costume that you had?
Okay.
Or like least favorite Halloween experience that you ever had growing up?
Oh, experience. Let me answer my costume question first. Then let me think on my experience.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so my least favorite costume, because I really only dressed up till I was probably like 12, I would say.
I dressed up top fucking
Like I
freshman year of college.
I probably
I
stopped
also
at like
dressed
12 or 14. Actually, scratch. Aaron and I literally went trick-or-treating together in 8th grade. That was ridiculous.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I mean, we didn't go trick-or-treating, but we always had like Halloween parties. So we were dressing up until
Yeah,
yeah.
I guess that's true.
Yeah.
But no, my least favorite is this it was this tulle-up outfit when I was a kid, and I wore it for like 4 years straight. It was handmade by my mom.
Oh Lord.
And I had this like a swim cap, a swim cap.
Yeah.
That's what I wore with a big tulle-up thing on my head.
What?
And I had and I wore, and it's in like all my baby pictures. Like you see, like usually everyone has a different costume every year. No, me, I was a tulip for 4 years straight.
Oh,
and then whenever I was done, I bet Marshall even wore it. And I bet Marley wore it before me. And my mom like handmade it, and she was like,
I'm proud of this. Everybody's
Like,
wearing it.
yeah, but I do have to talk about Marley's chicken costume, which I think I have talked about before, but she wanted to be a chicken one year. And so my mom's like, oh, yeah, let me craft this shit up.
Oh yeah, let me go ahead and get this one.
Get this
Hobby
rockin'.
Lobby, I'm on my way, bitch.
Hobby Lobby didn't exist yet, but I'm there.
You're right.
I'm there, Joanne Fabrics.
Yes.
And
Joanne Fabrics.
so Marley had these big rubber gloves that she wore on her feet. And then she like had this big boa like outfit egg looking suit and like this big beak, and just flopped around with her like extra long yellow orange rubber gloves that were on her feet. It was fucking hilarious. The best pictures ever in the world.
Marley.
That-
Really, bitch? A chicken?
Yeah. I was really a tulip for at least 5 years of my life.
Y'all picked the weirdest shit to be.
I didn't pick it. My mom definitely picked that.
Oh, yeah,
I was
yes.
probably begging her. I was like, Mom, please let me be Jasmine this year. Please let me be Ariel. Please.
You were
I'm
Jasmine
begging."
for 2 years when you were a kid.
I know I was. I love Jasmine.
You just repeat everything.
Please let me be Jasmine.
Please let me be Jasmine, please. That's so funny.
Shit. Okay, what's your least
Oh my God.
favorite costume?
So I don't really know, because I got to pick all of like whichever ones I wanted. Like, so I was like Daphne. I was whatever my obsession was for that year. But I think one of my least favorite, and I think it's just because it was the first time that I wasn't an only child at Halloween.
Yeah.
Because my little sister, like the middle sister, Lola, she was born on November 21st of 2004. And so the 2003 Halloween was like my first one, like my last one by myself. So I think for the 2005 Halloween is when my mom forced me to be Mary from Mary Had a Little Lamb, and Lola was a lamb.
No.
And
It's giving LeBrant family.
literally. And I was like, so I had like this like pink Dorothy costume. That's literally what it was. And I had to wear like a bonnet. And I carried around like the little stick. You know what I'm talking about? With the arch on it. And Lola.
The cane looking thing.
Yeah, the cane. And Lola had like a lamb costume. And in every single picture, because she didn't like it being on her head. Like Lola, when she was little, she's still like this. She's just
Doesn't
super
like shit on her head.
OCD.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't like certain things. And one of those was the fucking lamb ears that went on like a bonnet. And in every picture, she's squalling and screaming. And I just remember being like, smiling, just so annoyed, like, yeah, I'm here with this bitch. You know, like, first off,
I hate sisters.
I'm like, first off, I'm as being an only child.
Yeah.
But literally, that Halloween must have been literally 2 days before Mom had Phoebe. What is that sound, Morgan? Okay, that was crazy.
No, what the actual fuck was that? I thought it was a cat crying.
I didn't know. I don't know. I just had a panic attack. I hate it.
I hate this setup.
Susan?
I hate Halloween.
Susan, now come over immediately.
Oh my God.
Okay. What's your least favorite Halloween experience?
Okay, so I think I've also told this story too, because I'm just not really original, but we went to the Moundsville Penitentiary, a haunted house, and the first part of it, you like kind of do a tour of it. The second part is like an actual like fabricated haunted house. Like it's like they got the gore, the Hollywood scenes, whatever.
Drama.
So I went with Aaron's family and his brother and some of his friends, and I was probably in 9th grade, I don't know. And I remember being there, and they lined you up because it was a prison. So they lined you up out in the hallway, and they're like, I want everybody quiet. Well, you know how when you're a little twerp, you're like, I'm not fucking scared.
Yeah, fuck you.
Like, fuck off. What do you mean? I'm not
what are you
scared.
gonna do? You're gonna kill me?
You're gonna put me in a jail cell. Good joke. Joke's on you.
It's so funny.
No, that's exactly what he did.
Oh my
So
God.
he's like, you. Because I'm over there like giggling, like trying
Oh
to
my
not
God.
be scared. Because I hide everything with laughter.
Yeah, you do.
So
Can confirm I've been in a life or death situation with her, and all she did was laugh. And I'm over there like literally playing our escape, ripping my shoes off. Like
Ready to
I will walk.
literally. So I'm standing. He has us all, everyone in our tour, lined up against this wall, and I think actually Aaron's dad like was like pointing to me or something.
Oh my God, Ron.
Yeah, he really fucked me over there.
Punch her in the
sure.
face.
Asshole.
Asshole.
You're listening to this? Just kidding, not really. But so anyway, he pulls me out of the line, and he's like, it pulls one out of like four other people. Sorry, one out of four of other groups.
Yeah.
So there's 4 of us total, and I was one of them. And he walked us away from the group, and I'm like, bitch, I'm in 9th grade.
First off, I'm underage.
like I'm literally 15, 14 years old.
Right.
However old you are.
Right.
And puts us all in our single-owned jail cell in this haunted penitentiary, and like shuts the gates, and it's dark in there. Like, I mean, you can't see shit.
So there's
like
no
a
idea what's
couple
behind you.
windows like up there, like at the very, very top. It was like one of those really tall ceilings.
Yeah.
And all the very top, there's a couple windows like on the outside of the gate, but I had no idea what was behind me. And I just remember being like looking out there and being like,
Oh my God. So they seriously like locked you? Like
yeah,
you couldn't
locked
get
us.
out.
And then they brought the rest of the tour in, and then they were like shining flashlights. It was fucked up.
No, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
That place needs to
And
be
then
shut
right
down.
after that, we had to get in a coffin and ride it down like a roller coaster.
Okay, no, I'm definitely never going there.
No,
you can
that's-
count on
that's
me
why
not
I am the
being
way
there.
I am today.
I would literally get in a coffin. No.
Yeah, and then they would stop you mid roller coaster and pull the coffin door up and be like, right
And
in
it
front
was
of your face.
shut?
And they'd shut it back down, and you'd get going on the roller coaster.
And you couldn't see outside of it.
No, it was shut. Dude.
I would literally vom. First off, I have motion sickness issues. I would vom.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Yeah, it was
crazy.
scary. All right, yours.
I don't really. So I went to a haunted house once, and it was me and my mom, and I believe it was my friend Leah. And so I had to be in like 5th grade because that's
New
when
character unlocked.
new character unlocked.
Leah.
Leah. Have you ever heard of Leah?
No.
Okay, so Leah was like my best friend in like 4th and 5th grade, and she and I. She was like so fucking cool. Like her mom still today, she like rescues animals.
Dope.
And
Love her already.
You know, you already know like those are the coolest moms because they're
I'm just like picturing like all of the characters in Taylor's life like on the screen like ready to pick, and they're just in there like this.
Like, choose your character.
Dun, 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 dun,
I can't believe you've never heard of
dun.
Leah. So yeah, Leah was she had like 2 older sisters, and she was the youngest, and her mom was just cool as hell, and my mom loved her mom, and so
Yeah.
we just were able to like chill together. And she had like ferrets. Like I'll never forget the first time I ever saw a ferret. It was at her house, and back when I okay, this is like a Mandela effect, by the way. Do you remember the Skippy peanut butter? Damn it, you're allergic to peanut butter, guys.
Don't
Okay.
remember.
So there's this brand of peanut butter called Skippy, and it's like a turquoise, like a light blue, and it's got red writing, and it's like curved a little bit, and it's like a bubble font, but it's got emphasis on the back with white. And so Skippy used to make bars like peanut butter chocolate nut bars, and they
Like Nutter Butters?
no not like that.
Me. Like
I know a little bit about some peanuts.
Pull up.
Skirt. No, it was like a granola bar almost, but like a candy bar. So kind of like a Payday, but like 10 times better. And they were so fucking good. And she used to always have these at her house. Y'all, I've tried to Google these to just like, because I just feel like they never existed outside of that one time that I tried them at her house. And I truly swear to God can't find them anywhere.
Shut up.
Yeah. And I literally know exactly what the branding looked like on it, everything. I don't know why I can't find them. So if anybody knows what I'm talking about, like corroborate me because I feel like I'm crazy. Anyways,
Mandela.
so me and
Matrix.
Leah and Mom went to this haunted house. And I feel like it was like at the Bradley Square Mall in Cleveland.
Just like one of those little ones.
Yeah, and they had like used one of the back rooms in it, like the old Kmart, literally like, the back rooms, right? And it was crazy. Like it was intense. Like you had to sign waivers for it. But my mom was like, I mean, I'm gonna go. And she like just had Phoebe. Like Phoebe was like a year old. And my mom was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go. This back.
Let's do it. Let's go.
So she takes us, and I swear to you, we go into this one room, and it was like your group went room by room by yourself. So like
that's
it was
exactly
your
how
group.
the penitentiary was.
Exactly. And so we go into this one room, and everything had been pretty tame until this point. And this room's completely empty. And it reminds me of the No Wind house when you were talking about that room with like the one chair in it.
Stop.
That's kind of what it looked like, but it was a table like in the corner and like a sink on the side. It must have been like a fucking kitchen. And so
like the break room. Actually.
right, exactly. And so we walk in there and we're like looking around, and I just remember that the floor was tilted, like it was up at an angle. And they had like put a ramp or something. So we're walking down this ramp and we're like, okay, what do we do? Like we couldn't really see a door. Like there was like a sliding looking thing on the other side. So we're like looking around trying to figure out where to go. And this guy comes out from under this table with a fucking chainsaw.
No.
And I'm not joking, dude. I like immediately fight or flight kicked in. Like there was nothing left in me to like panic about. Like
Right.
I literally was like, I'm finding the fucking door and we're getting out. So Leah and I run behind my mom, and I'm immediately like touching the walls, and then the guy's like swinging at my mom, like swinging the fucking chainsaw at my mom, and my mom was getting pissed off. My mom's like, whoa, what the fuck? Like these are two kids. Like
I love those videos at haunted houses when someone turns around and decks the guy.
Yeah,
and the guy's like, whoa, man. And he's
Yeah,
like, sorry, dude. Sorry.
Exactly. And so mom's like, whoa, like just mind some space, please. Like don't, swing that in my fucking face.
Yeah.
And the guy is like literally coming around her and like shoving it towards me and Leah. So me and Leah scatter away from my mom, and he starts chasing me. And I had slipped down this ramp. And so I'm on my back, and he comes over me, and he's like lining my body on the ground with it. And my mom's like, let me just find the door. So my mom finds the door, grabs Leah, finds the door, and she's like, comes over and grabs me and yanks
And you're
me.
standing there with a chainsaw on your face.
I literally I couldn't move. He was like going on either side of me. Like I was like, does this have a chain on it? Like, sir, do you mind to tell me?
Sir, please stop it and let me see your safety precautions.
Yeah, but that's like the most, I just vividly remember that. I just remember being so scared. I remember when we walked out of that room, I was like, I want to go right now. We literally ran through the rest of that haunted house. We were done.
I hate haunted houses too, but I've been to some fucking crazy ones.
I've been to some really, I like good ones where they don't touch you. Like everything's in the wall, like a good distance. And I've been to some where they literally rip your arm out.
Yeah.
And I hate those. Like they can take you into the back rooms and they hold you hostage and your people have to find you.
Me.
I won't go do those.
Literally what happened to me.
I won't do
Fucked
those.
up.
I did that once with the exchange student, Benji from New Zealand. It was his birthday. New person unlocked. And Benji had just moved to the U.S. as an exchange student when we were in high school.
Yeah.
And it was his birthday, and he like didn't really have that many friends because he just moved here.
So you're like, let me get you the true American experience.
no.
Let's get chased by a motherfucking train.
I said, no, I'm going to throw you a birthday party.
Oh, okay.
So I threw him a massive birthday party at my house, and like we got him a cake. I invited every person I knew, literally. Everybody showed up. It was like, it's
cool.
probably one of my favorite memories.
That's
and
awesome.
we all, in the middle of us sitting there, mind you, it's literally October. We're like, let's go to that haunted house. And so he's like, oh my God, I would love to go. So we take him to this haunted house. First off, it was so fun and scary. We had a great time. And then we all came back to my house and we all jumped in the pool with our clothes on. And he was like, this is the best day ever. I love America.
I love the USA.
USA.
I love that.
I'm like, welcome to America. Jump in the pool.
Keep your clothes on, though.
Taking you to a haunted house.
Welcome to Cleveland, Tennessee.
Yeah. Jump in, bitch. Like, seriously. Like, it was so fun. But we had a great time. So
That's cute.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
I love those. Yeah, we'll let you go now. But just a forewarning, a lot of these are like the scariest ones we could possibly find in our inbox.
Yeah, that's probably why our shit's going haywire right now.
Oh, so thanks everybody for sending yours in, and just a warning that you might want to sage yourself and make sure it's not too dark.
And call Susan.
Yeah, and call Susan. And there's gonna be a special message from Susan throughout here somewhere.
Ooh,
so keep your ears
hear from
peeled.
the lady herself.
Hear from the
savior.
Suzarina.
Our queen.
Okay, so we're gonna hit him with it.
If you're driving, throw that shit on cruise control.
If you got a glass, pour that shit up.
And let's, for real, get motherfucking creepy.
Okay, so I'm actually going first today.
What?
What? Okay, so the first case that we have is from the first creepy account we have is from Sam using she, her pronouns. Okay, so sorry for the length of this, and know that I have plenty more spiritual experiences that I would love to share when and if you are interested. We always are interested.
Always.
Please send them in, lovers. A little background. My name is Sam. Pronouns she, her. I live in Northeast Oklahoma, surrounded by lots of tribal land. I am partially Cherokee, and I am surrounded by many different tribes.
Oh.
I love listening to Creeps and Crimes and was introduced by my sister-in-law. I am still not caught up all the way, but I am in love. Oh my God, I hope you're caught up to hear this.
I hope you hear this.
But thanks so much for listening, and we love your sister-in-law. She and I both think that my story would fit well with your podcast vibe. My younger sister, her friend, and I all went driving around looking for something spooky. This was something that we did often, and we enjoyed it every time, even though we have seen some shit. We drove to locations that we hadn't gone to often or before, and I got an overwhelming feeling of dread.
No.
Turn around. Leave. I'm an empath, and I have a pretty open third eye, so I do not ignore these types of feelings. Then I got a vision, or saw something through a glitch. I'm unsure, but it was so real. My younger sister, who was 7 months pregnant at the time, was in the front seat with me, and her friend was in the back. I saw us get into a head-on collision with a car, extremely graphic. I saw the glass crack into the spider web, and I heard the crash so loudly that it shook my whole body. Okay, guys, and just a trigger warning for anybody that this might be sensitive for, we're going to go into the detail of what she saw. So if you don't want to hear that, skip forward just a little bit. I saw my sister get pinned by the dashboard, taking her and her baby's life. Her friend flew up into the front seats with her neck broken, lifeless, with blood spilling from her mouth, her dead eyes looking at me in horror. Then I felt a severe pain in the front of my skull, and everything went black.
Oh my God.
I opened my eyes, and not a second had gone by. We were all still sitting in the car, still driving, and I was freaked. I pulled over and told my sister to get in the back and buckle in. I told her friend to also buckle in. They were freaked out, but they listened, asking me why and what was wrong. I was shaking and I couldn't tell them anything. I just said I had a bad feeling. I didn't want to put this vision into the universe. I didn't even want to manifest it in fear. And when we came to the end of the road, I was supposed to turn left, but everything inside of me screamed, go right, go right. So I went right. And of course, confused, they kept asking me why. I said, guys, I just have a feeling. Please trust me. And the feeling got more intense. I felt like my throat was closing with fear. And then, out of nowhere, the fog thickened. We were near a river, so I just thought that we had gotten closer to the water. But then I was suddenly surrounded by Native American women. Oh my God, I'm going to sob. Stop. They had they held such regal energy. I instantly felt relief, and they walked side by side with my car until we got to safety and pulled off. They were in very old traditional clothing, and the one nearest to my window nodded to me as if to say, "We have made it safely."
Oh my God.
We were about 10 miles north of where the Trail of Tears ended, where I believe these women must have found safety. They had, oh my God, I'm going to stop. They had saved our lives, and I still get goosebumps when I think about their presence. P.S. I didn't proofread any of this because I would never send it if I did. Hope this is clear enough to understand. Sam. First off, what a beautiful protective story that is.
No, that's gorgeous.
That is such a stunning story of just these spirits that decided to protect you, like had no ties to you prior. And I'm gonna lose it. And I find it, what's so crazy about all of this, in my opinion, is the fact that you're at the end of the Trail of Tears, and you're Cherokee partially. Well, I've said this before on the podcast. I grew up on Cherokee land and in Cleveland, Tennessee, and that is where Red Clay National Park is. And it is also said to be the final meeting ground of the Cherokee tribe before they were sent on the Trail of Tears. And this is like a location where it starts.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
So you're at the end, and I sit at the beginning,
and you have such a similar story to that.
My story of my spiritual awakening was when I was driving past the location.
Yeah.
Is when I started hearing stay in the light until I got home. And
nuts.
It wasn't even to protect me, it was to protect someone else. So I find that so beautiful. But also, what the fuck? Oh my God,
what a vision, though.
No,
That's
what
horrific.
a vision.
If I would have saw a vision like that, I would have. I don't know what I would. I don't think I would have been able to keep driving.
No, because you have to get out of wherever it is.
I know, but I think my body would shut down. My brain would shut me down.
Yeah,
and I'd be like, I can't.
And I totally get the I don't want to manifest with fear.
Yeah,
I do that all the time when I have like an intrusive thought, or I can never tell the difference between my intrusive thoughts and a vision of mine. And so I struggle with that a lot. Not typically I can tell when it comes without fear, then that means it's a vision. But if it comes with fear for me, it's typically an intrusive thought. And either way, if I catch myself thinking about it, I'm like, no, I'm not even going to manifest this. I'm stopping myself, and I'm going to end it right here. This is not happening. This is not going to happen.
And if you do feel something like that, about like me, for example, she'll just call and be like, you need to stay home today. And then she won't say why.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to.
I don't even want to put it. I'm like, we'll talk about it later, but for the next 2 hours, stay there.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much, Sam, for sending
Thank
that
you,
in.
Sam.
That is crazy. I'm so glad that you guys were all
awesome
okay.
story.
Yeah. I'm so glad that they protected you. What a beautiful story.
Alrighty. So the next one is from Lily, using pronouns she, her. Hello. So this is going to be a long and hopefully detailed enough to be a good story. I wanted to start out by saying that I love your podcast, and you guys got me through a drive from Texas to Washington. That is one hell of a drive.
That is a hell of a drive.
A lovely girl recommended me to you guys since I love watching crime, creepy documentaries, and had not gotten into podcasts yet. I'm so very happy she did, and right now I'm listening to season 1, episode 18. Keep up the great work. Okay,
well, I talked to Lily. I did talk to Lily, and I believe she told me that she was pretty much caught up when I talked to her.
Oh, good thing, Lily, because I was scared for a
Me
second.
too, I was.
Lily says, about me. I am a horror movie person, crime documentary person, etc. At one point, I would watch a horror thriller movie each night, like a comfort movie before bed. No idea why, but I did, and I never was scared by them. I have seen and known about tons of creepy horror things, conspiracies, myths, you name it. I'm a tad superstitious, but for my own sanity, I love to rationalize. For someone who consumes a lot of scary stories, I hardly ever believe in them. This is me. And I'm never really spooked, except your BEK creepy app. I skipped that one. I'm not easily scared. I am always a friend who checks out the creepy hallway or goes first in haunted houses. I actually think there is more good than evil in the spirit world, and in my mind, the evil ones only care for those they can get a rise out of. So if you're not scared of them, then what? Also, my cat is a part of this, so quick cat background. My kitty was my childhood best friend and was old by the time this began, but was always around me. It would be weird if she was not around me at night. I'm going to start from the very, very beginning, in 2017. I'm going to try and be as detailed as possible, but my memory is shit, and that will make this a very long story, so bear with me. I was dating this guy who was a little granola, so he would go on walks, runs, hang out at the park in a hammock type of thing. He came back from his outdoorsy adventure one time and he gave me a rock.
Oh, God.
This rock, I am so sad that I do not have a picture of it, had writing all over it. I was thinking it was one of those paint a rock and leave it for someone to find in the park type of thing. And I'm not sure if that sounds strange, but my neighborhood did this sometimes. I remember seeing
My
this on
whole city
Facebook.
did this, yeah.
And people would leave one they painted, pick it up, then one that was already there. So I figured he just found one of those. But this one did not have anything painted that made sense, like random letters and no coherent words from what I could tell. Still, I thought nothing of it. The night he brought me it, he was staying at mine in my parents' house on the couch. I was staying in my room. In my room, I had the rock on my nightstand because I am a simple girl who loves little gifts. On that same nightstand was my fan. Now, this fan is extremely old, but it began making this creepy, ugly noise that only broken fans would make.
I know exactly what type of fan noise you're talking about.
Again, it is so old and gross, and I don't even want to share the photo because that damn thing needed to be cleaned. But it was so weird that it has just now started acting up, video included. I texted him the video of the fan and explained that it was weird. He then asked if someone was using the printer, and I told him no, since it was most likely around 11 p.m., 12 a.m. right now. And he said, well, it turned on and it started to print things. It was just printing things that had previously been printed, like making more copies randomly. He said the cat was with him just staring at it. And then he said the cat then moved to the Xbox in that room, and as she did, it turned on and lit up the whole TV.
Oh.
He said he felt weird in the room and that he felt like he had to leave. So he left me. He went and stayed with his friends, and when he left, the cat came into my room. When she did the same thing and stared at my Xbox. My whole family is gamers, lol. Love that.
Oh, my God.
And the Xbox and the TV turned on when she was near. Now, you have to turn both those things on separately. So it is extremely strange that both things
Right.
turned on at the same time. I turned off my fan and unplugged everything, and I did not sleep that night. My cat slept there with me. I was very freaked out, and I did not fully believe stuff like that at the time, so I was just trying to rationalize. But it was too weird to not be freaked out about. This was the first night and the start of it all. After that night, I had convinced myself it was because of the rock, so I threw it out the window into a field while driving. My boyfriend at the time refused to stay at my house ever again because of how off it all felt. Since that night, it was a common occurrence for my cat to stare at an electronic and for it to turn on or act weird. Usually a gaming device, printer, TV, or light. And this only happened if I was around. If I was not, none of my family would ever see anything happen. At this point, the occurrences were not super often, maybe once a week. And honestly, I was not afraid of it anymore. I mean, if all it was going to do was mess with electronics, then oh well. I also still was not fully convinced it wasn't just something else going on. Also, I want to add, to this day, I'm unsure if my cat could detect that it was going to happen or if it happened because my cat was looking. Another thing that I want to add is that I began having sleep paralysis.
Oh, shit.
I watched your app on sleep paralysis and I felt all of those exact things. I had seen the shadowy, always men figures during it, and I always felt a heavy thing on my chest.
Oh.
I was trying to convince myself that whatever was messing with my electronics was not the shadowy thing I saw when stuck in paralysis. I also always got a weird feeling, that whatever it was messing with electronics was not going to hurt me. And I honestly was not scared of it, but I was always scared during paralysis. It felt very separate from the sleep paralysis terrors. Also, at the time, I was under a lot of other stress that could have caused the paralysis again. Again, I try to rationalize a lot. Either way, it was weird timing. Fast forward to 2018 and I'm going to college. Now, before this, I had only stayed at my house for an extended amount of time. I did not have vacation since getting the rock, and I never stayed at a friend's house for more than like a day or two maybe. This was the first time I would be out of the house for an extended amount of time. I actually thought to myself about what that would mean. Would everything just stop happening? Would it attach to a sibling back home, or would it follow? My cat was staying with my family, so I figured it only stuck with her. If it was even a real thing anyways, still was not convinced. After about a week of being there, though, I got my answer. My computer, roommate's TV, or my Xbox would randomly turn on.
Oh, shit.
Sometimes my fridge would make a real weird noise, or the lights would act strange. This was the first time things happened without my cat showing me first, so that was new. Also, I was really hoping my roommate was not going to hate me for it, and this may have been bad of me, but I did not tell her about it happening before. I think she also tried to rationalize it, and we just thought it was a funky dorm electricity. I would go home on the weekends a lot, and nothing would happen once back home, even with my cat around. When I got back to the dorm one time, my roommate said she wanted to talk with me about something. She said, when I leave, nothing weird happens, and actually sounded concerned.
Oh, shit.
We were good friends, and so she was comfortable telling me all of this, and at that point, I was not worried that she would dislike me. I told her what I knew so far, and she did seem a little freaked out, but we both kind of agreed that just annoying us with electronics wasn't a huge deal. This was the first time I started to actually believe something was at play here, and I could not rationalize it.
Oh, God.
Someone else noticed without me letting them in on it. She made a lot of comments throughout the year about how it's funny that when I leave, nothing happens, and we even would put blankets on my PC and things to stop the bright light. Oh yeah, that is because all of this usually happens only at night, let me add. Now in 2019, I'm living in a dorm at college alone. I get put in a room on the floor that is considered the haunted floor.
Oh, shit.
I was told that there were tons of freshmen reporting weird noises, things happening over the years, and it was an insider at the college that there was a ghost. I actually told them I'm not surprised I got picked to be put there. The same old thing is happening with electronics weekly. Honestly, if it wanted to scare me or get my attention, it needed some new tricks because I didn't even react at this point. Also, I began telling people about it, and sometimes people would stay over just to see, and it was almost like a show. Let me add, this is a completely different dorm. I now have my own TV, an Xbox One, so a new Xbox, and the same PC and fridge. At my house, it was all different electronics than what I have at the dorm in the previous dorm. And I just wanted to add that in case someone wants to say it is just bad electronics, because it did not matter. This dorm was not at full capacity, and I was in it until COVID hit in 2020. The rooms next to me were completely empty other than dorm furniture. My door was at the end of the hall that went left. So it was like an L shape, and then my room was at the corner of the L. The lights on the floor were motion censored. Great for creepy shit, I know. So of course, I had constant issues with that. My job at the time was an RA, so I had to check on the freshmen and make sure they were all good. Sometimes this meant 2 a.m. rounds.
Oh, my God.
When I would get back from those rounds in the halls, the motion lights would flicker on near my room before I was even close enough, or they would already be on. No one else lived near my room, so unless someone was taking a stroll at 2 a.m., it was not them. At this point, because other people confirmed this shit only happened when I was around, I believed in it being a spirit or something, but I was not scared of it. This was almost an every time occurrence, and I would actually smile at the light being on. It felt like they were being helpful. I would sometimes say thanks. I sound crazy, I know. And if the lights were off, I would make some comment like, oh, you're mad at me tonight? Or tell them that they're just being lazy. Crazy, but for real, I just wasn't scared. Now, 2020, right before COVID, and I hear rumbling outside of my room. It was my coworker with some freshmen checking out the room directly to the right of me, sharing a wall. They banged on my door and woke me up at 2 a.m, and I was dazed, but I was really curious. They said they heard what sounded like a bed being shook and a chair moving across the floor. They asked if I had a bunch of people over or if I was gaming that night and moving my chair around. And I said I had not had any guests over and I was just sleeping, not gaming. I had been gaming until about midnight though, so I asked when they heard the noise. They said it had been going on way before that, off and on, and still was happening, so finally the floor below reported it. I was gaming, and then I was asleep, so I may have missed it, but I did not hear anything, which was weird.
Well, yeah, can confirm you can't hear shit when you're gaming because Logan
can confirm.
Cannot hear anything.
They were extremely freaked out, though, because other than me, no one else could have done it. So they got the key to the room to investigate. Great. Now, if you know anything about how they leave dorm rooms when they are empty, they leave the chairs upside down on the tables, and this is what we did before students came to the dorm, so we know it was done that way. There was a chair facing the door. Directly in the center of the room.
No.
I did not say this out loud, but I thought to myself that if this was my little ghost dude, then he just advanced. And this did freak me out a tad, because I honestly do not think it was whatever I had going on and that it would have happened in my own room if it was. From this day on, they kept reporting random noises, but everyone was too scared to investigate again. I actually wondered if the presence of mind made others more active, because this was the most reports they had gotten from students in that hall in years. I would watch houses on my holiday breaks, and every third day is when I would notice things would start happening. Just the same electronic stuff, completely different houses, so not connected in any way other than that I am there. I would address the entity, spirit, a lot at this point too. It kind of was just a thing. I could not ever ask it to turn on things though, like I always wished I could. But sometimes I could tell it was going to happen, like I had this feeling. One house, though, my friend actually warned me that he thought this house was haunted.
Oh.
He knew of my spirit thingy, and he and I joked about him having friends, and also, yes, I keep saying him. I had an overall feeling to address it as a guy once I started addressing it in general. So she's addressing the spirit as a guy.
So she feels it like a masculine energy.
Okay. so I believe it to be a him. I was a little worried because I know things got real active at the dorm when I was around, but I figured it was nothing too bad. At this point, my sleep paralysis, as long as I was not at my own home, was very rare, but not here. I had it every single night while there. By the third night, things got bad.
Oh, shit.
The lights would shut off on me when I was in rooms, and once I was in the shower and it flickered at very even pace and then would just shut off.
No.
I was so scared that I actually dead ass in a very shaky voice said, "Please, friend, turn that on. I'm so scared." And the light flickered on. But it was as if it was like battling to stay on. It was insane. It would turn on, then flicker and slowly fade off, then flash back on. And I hurried out of the shower and a door shut in the other room. Only the dog and I were home. Also, the sleep paralysis I had, I would always hallucinate different shadows and sometimes that I was being strangled. I lasted 2 nights past the third day, and then I called my friend saying I will take care of his dog, but I'm not sleeping there at night. Even during the day, lights would flicker or doors would make a noise as if they moved slightly. I was so freaked out, but of course his dog was the priority, so I made sure that they were good. Also, their dog loved me and used to lay with me all the time. Past the third day, it would not sleep with me, but instead on the other side of the house. My friend had warned me that he experienced similar things with the doors or the lights flickering, but that it was never that consistent or that bad. No way in hell was I staying the night again. I had never been so afraid in my life. Even stepping in the house after that, I felt like a target was on my back. Insert video of dog with me during the day, getting scared of something I did not hear or see attached.
Oh, yeah. She attached tons of videos and pics for us.
When back at the dorm, the same electronic things would happen, and sometimes a freshman would report noise next to my room. I then decided I wanted to visit my friend in his trailer home for a while. He knew of the whole situation. He actually was one of the people who always wanted to see something it would do. So he was thrilled, and I told him I would stay a while so that we can try and see if it does something. Honestly, it was like a game and something to show off for me, and I think whatever it was, I liked it. So the third night, always the third night, he was saying out loud he wanted to see some action and wanted the spirit to do something. I keep saying spirit, but I really have no idea what it is. I will say every time a friend says demon, I correct them and say, of all things, it is not that.
I don't think it's a demon.
He basically begged it to do something cool, and I just was like, don't ask for too much. I'm really unsure what it can do. I slept in the living room, and he slept in his bed across the trailer. In the living room was a TV and a stereo system. You have to turn on the TV to get the system to work. You can plug your phone into the system and play music, which we had been doing all day. To do so, you need the TV on, the system on, to accept it on your phone, and then find a song to play. At about 3 a.m., suddenly the TV turned on and the light woke me. I was about to call my friend in to show that he was doing something when music just started playing at max volume.
Oh, my God.
He came running out of the room, freaked out, and honestly, it was so loud, all we cared about was turning it off.
Yeah.
That was a struggle because we could not turn it off, but then it just stopped. He was freaked out, but so excited that something had happened.
Okay, I have to know what song was playing because it better have been Low Rider. And then you see George Lopez jumping on the TV. Like, oh my God, turn it the fuck down.
Oh my God, could you imagine?
Max volume.
That honestly was the biggest thing that I think my actual one did. The rest of the extreme things I do not think was mine. It was playing off of his phone, and I know how horrible of me, but I do not recall the song.
Damn it.
I definitely should have written it down because it was nothing we had ever heard, nor anything that we could have had on our phone to play. That's interesting.
I would love to know what it is.
He was amazed because to get that to happen, I would have had to turn on the TV and the sound system. Then he would have had to accept it and find the song and play it from his phone. Obviously, we did not do any of that. Also, the fact the volume was turned all the way up and not at all what we left it on. I was impressed. This was way more advanced than just turning one thing on because there was an order to it, and he was able to follow that from watching us do it all day. After that, no other electronics were messed with that whole stay.
Yeah, they used all their freaking energy to
show
give
you.
that. Yeah.
Now into the beginning of COVID, and I'm back home doing school online. Same thing where my cat looks at an electronic and it turns on, and this happens all the time, and no other major event except for one. My siblings and their friends wanted to mess with a Ouija board, as normal young kids do. Not. I, of course, wanted to join, and I am known by the family to be super into horror things, and so they figured that I would. I had never done one before, and I did not believe in them, and I'm still iffy on it. When we were doing it, I joined in, not knowing that there were rules.
Oh, God.
When I was doing it with them, it did feel like it was just moving. They had been using it before I joined, and they had not had any movement, but they were just messing with each other to scare each other. So the rules that matter here are only the leader ask. That was me this round. Always say goodbye before you leave, and do not let it spell the name Z. When it moved, we asked their name, and it went to Z, and then to O. Of course it did, with my luck. And one of the girls who knew what this meant started screaming to say goodbye and to not let it continue. She was frantic, and we said goodbye. I was hoping to get the name of my spirit, so I was a little frustrated, but she began crying and said that she would not play with me. They were freaked and had me look up the name. Now I was freaked, but I did not think mine would be this demon. Nothing aligned with it, and honestly, I had a feeling that it was a joke that mine pulled. But honestly, I do not know how much I believe in this part being more than them pushing the piece, even
Poor
to
thing
this day.
was trying to just spell Zoe. Like,
Yeah.
her name's literally Zoe. She was
Yeah.
like, wait, no, there's a W.
Yeah. Zola.
Yeah, literally.
My house never got overwhelming, like many haunted places I would be, and only had occurrences for my own spirit thing. So truly, I think it was a funny joke or it was fake. I will not stop rationalizing this occurrence in my brain for my own sanity, but feel free to dig into it. Also, Z is a cool, creepy account to do a bit over. Do the Ouija board during it if you dare. Oh,
We don't dare.
we don't.
We refuse to
I actually
dare.
have a story about Z. Now 2021 and the college is opening back up. My cat had not been acting strange at all, but trigger warning, this part may be a tad sad. I was getting all my stuff to drive back to college when suddenly my cat was acting a little sluggish. She had been completely normal before that, and she was really old at this point. So I was a little worried, but thought maybe that it was just a stressful day for her since I was leaving again for a while after being home because of COVID. Once I was about to leave, I found something outside of my door. It was a little paper shaped like a heart. I asked my family, and no one had any idea where this may have come from. It was strange. I knew in my gut how it got there, but I was astonished because nothing but electronics ever got messed with. I had never seen anything move unless it was at an already haunted place. I picked it up and I smiled and I set it in a little jar where it would be safe. I said thank you to Mr. Spirit Man and I walked out, and I thought if it was him, then that was really kind. And maybe he was happy to have spent time in quarantine together, and now I am back to the public. Once at school, it was the third day in, and nothing was happening. Also back home, my cat was acting really strange, like not eating, and I was really worried for her, and my parents said they were going to take her to the vet. They said after I left that the cat was showing fast declining health, and I felt bad, and in hindsight, I think she was holding it together until I was gone.
Oh my God.
Also, nothing was occurring at the dorm I lived in, even 4 days in. It did not always happen on the third day, but still. About a week in and still nothing, and my cat was then diagnosed with kidney failure.
Oh no.
They said with her age and everything that it was just painful for her and that the best option was to put her to sleep.
Yeah.
Heartbroken, I told my parents if that is the best decision, then that is that, and she had a long and lovely life.
Oh.
Picture of my kitty. After this, I never had another strange occurrence again. Not once. It is now 2022, and honestly, I miss it sometimes. It was kind of comforting at times, and I saw them as a friend. I still try and rationalize it, but I almost feel like it is rude to try and say it was all just a coincidence. I love freaking people out with this story, and I love when my friends bring it up randomly as if it was an old friend to us all. I told my dad I'm writing the story, and he said that my little sister still brings it up. The other day when doing tarot, I actually asked for his assistance since I was doing a reading for a friend who knew him, but I did not feel the weird feeling of a presence that I used to, and it kind of sucks because I miss them. But having the story be told makes me feel like I'm going to make them happy. When I hear stories of electronics, things being messed with, I always wonder if those people were not so frightened. What could become of the spirit-human relationship? If there was a more powerful spirit that could do much more than mine, no offense to mine, what could become of that? Anyway, sorry for the extremely long story, but I wanted to do it the best justice that I could. I still love to hear what you guys think about the other spirits being more active, the light situation in the bathroom in my friend's house, my cat's involvement, etc. I do think I'm a very intuitive person, and my family, such as my grandma, has reported a lot of random spiritual encounters. So maybe it runs in the family to be receptive of it. Not sure, but thanks for listening. You do not have to add this in, obviously, but this is my grandma's experience with what she thinks is my aunt who passed away's spirit. My grandma is very religious, a Christian, and her daughter passed away at a young age. I was young, but I remember how hard it was. My aunt was a beautiful person and a kind soul. She was sure to be in heaven, as my grandma would say. After my aunt passed away, an all-white peacock showed up at my grandma's house. No one knew where it came from, and she asked around the neighborhood, and nobody knew. We researched it, and it is an Indian blue peafowl with a rare genetic mutation that causes the white feathers called leucism.
Wow.
They only appear in captivity, but no zoo is anywhere near my grandma's, and no one around her had ever even seen it until it was in her yard.
Wow.
The peacock would appear from the woods behind her house and come into her yard, and it would hang around everyone, but it wouldn't get too close. It would at times take food, but sometimes did not seem interested and would just watch. It came a lot during family gatherings and would sit around. It was a female, we found out. Sorry. My grandma was convinced it was
Just keep going. I'll just edit it.
my grandma was convinced it was my aunt sticking around while she grieved. My grandma went into the house one time and saw what she saw was a glowing light sitting in a room. She was so in shock, she just watched it as it sat there. She said that it literally just got so bright she could not see that it left. The day she was trying to explain it to me, she noticed a similar image in a magazine and she was astonished. I'm trying to remember the best I can, but I was young. The picture showed a bright light shining in the middle of the room, like a white orb. After this, she felt at peace, like it was to show her that my aunt had gone to heaven. From then on, we never saw the peacock again.
Wow.
Oh my God.
That is...
Okay, the whole story, dude.
Okay, I have so much to
Lily.
say. Yeah, okay. Morgan, do you want to go first? This is a little bit more personal to Morgan in a
Yeah.
story that we have yet to share with you guys and won't for a long time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Lily. I had a little friend
Yeah.
when I went to college
Mm-hmm.
that came with me and was acting out
Yeah.
for other reasons because we lived in a very haunted place.
Right.
And I think that this is very similar to your situation and how you kept saying like, oh, you know, I just miss it sometimes. I miss it. And it's really hard for people to grasp
Mm-hmm.
because they never had something so attached to them in a good, positive light, like in a good way, that whenever it is gone, you feel like a piece of you is like missing.
Right. And just like in your story, Morgan's was also very used things that weren't like terrifying to signal her. It was like TV and
Dishwasher.
Lights. Yes.
Lights, doors. Like it was very like
There was,
easy.
yeah, very like things that wouldn't be like not throwing shit across a fucking room.
Right.
But when stuff like that would happen, the electric
Like a good way of saying it, like
Yeah.
Taylor said earlier, we were off mic.
Yeah.
But she was always just trying to be like, hello, like
Hello,
open your
wake the fuck
eyes. Like
up.
look who's here. Like I'm
Yeah.
trying to get your
Trying
attention.
to help you.
You know?
Right.
And I loved my girl.
Yeah.
Mine was definitely a girl though.
Whenever Morgan lost her, Morgan said to me, I just feel like a piece of me is missing. And she was our girl. Yeah, she was dope. She did a lot of good things for us.
Yeah.
So I completely understand that. And honestly, like a piece of me wonders if that rock that was brought home. Okay. Now, first off, depending on like the location that a rock is, they can have, especially if they're like around a portal or like a place where there's a lot of spiritual energy.
Sacred grounds.
Right. They will pick up spirits and you can bring them home. And I went to a portal once and I got myself 3 rocks, and those bitches, when I'm going crazy, like if I'm really like not doing good with protecting myself and letting a lot of emotions hit me, those rocks will fly off of the shelf and then my cats end up playing with it. And that's when I'm like, okay, I need to contain myself because I feel like WandaVision, like at the end, like that's like when they signal
about
to me,
explode.
right? Like I'm putting out too much energy. And so I wonder if that's something similar like that happened to you, but it just released a spirit and it wasn't necessarily a bad spirit, but your cat was like, I kind of fuck with you. And then your cat like befriended this spirit and they were like, and the cat was like, show her what you can do.
Yeah.
Turn on that light.
Yeah.
Play
here,
with the
here,
printer.
Here, I'll help you. Let me walk by it real quick.
Yeah. And you're like, here, I'll go signal. I'll be like, hey, look at this bitch. And then it turns on the whole
let me
TV.
get her attention and then you do the work.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe your cat and this spirit like hooked up and became besties. And so when you left for college, your cat was like, okay, go with her. Like,
Yeah.
take
I
care
can't
of
go,
her.
so you go.
Right? Maybe you were going through something that your cat, which cats we all know are very, very spiritually connected. And maybe they were like, I can't be there, so you need to go. Or maybe it was even like a higher being of your cat preparing for you to leave and wanting you to get used to this version of its spirit to carry you through. And then by the time that you left and your cat passed away, maybe your cat said at that point, like, okay, you're good to go on your own. Like,
Yeah, you're
you did
ready.
it. You're safe now. You know how to handle energies around you, and you've leveled up. Like, you don't need this spirit with you anymore.
Yeah.
And so
And you
they
got
left
all
you.
that time with her during
Right,
quarantine.
right. And I just think
Or him. I don't know the cat.
and so whenever it's like acting up, whatever's happening, maybe it's signaling to you like, hey, there's something you need to be prepared for, or there's something you need to see, or there's something going on. And so that's why you were experiencing it the way that you were. Or maybe it was just being like, hey, bitch, like, what's going on, girl? Like, wake up.
And you said that you were in a really haunted dorm. Like, it was known to be haunted.
So it's protecting you.
And that's why it was so, like, acting out there. Like,
Yep.
in the room next to you. Like, maybe it was just,
And
like,
that
fighting.
house-
Like, in a pure fight. You know what I mean?
That's what like confirmed it for me is when you were in the shower and it was like you said the light was flickering, like it was fighting to stay on. That, in my opinion, is like, no, leave the light on for her. Like, quit fucking turning this off. She's in the shower. That's scary as hell. So your spirit is fighting off whatever dark entity or haunting entity. And it doesn't have to be dark, just like a lost entity, fighting it and trying to keep that light on for you.
I love that story.
I love that story. I really appreciate you sending it, and I love the way that you formatted it. I really appreciate. I really appreciate it, and plus, I love the videos, and we'll watch those.
Yeah. Thank you, Lily, so much.
Thank you so much, love. So the next creepy account we have is from Megan using she/her pronouns. Hi, Taylor and Morgan. I just wanted to start this off by saying thank y'all for everything that you do. I'm a huge fan of the podcast and of y'all podcast. I can never decide between Team Creeps and Team Crime. I love you both.
Come to the dark
We
side.
love you both. We love you both. We love both your personalities.
We love both of you.
We love both the Team Creep and the Team Crime.
We like Megan and Megan.
Megan and Megan. To begin my creepy account, I am throwing it all the way back to the fall of 2013. I was 13 years old at the time, and I had just moved to Savannah, Georgia with my family. Although my family moved often due to my dad's job, this move was different. This move was going to give my family a fresh start. My dad and my mom were having issues at the time, which led to a lot of fights and negativity in our home. I believe that this move was their last effort to try to work things out. That being said, I look at this period of my life as the beginning of a long road of hurt. Sometime in a few weeks of moving to Savannah, my parents decided that it would be fun for us to go on a ghost tour together as a family. My mom, dad, sister, Taylor, 16, me, 13, and brother, Connor, 12, all drove to the downtown one evening, excited for what we would see. On this ghost tour, we got a ride around the city of downtown Savannah in a trolley and learn a lot about the history of the old city and even go into some creepy abandoned buildings that were built in the 1700s.
Creepy.
Ooh. When we went into these buildings, we used ghost goggles and ghost radars to try to find any paranormal activity. Being the teenagers that we were, my siblings and I really just laughed through this entire part of the tour. We tried to spook each other out by pretending to be ghosts, see ghosts, or jumping out at each other. My sister Taylor snapped a picture of me during all of this, and in a picture, I'm holding a ghost radar, and there is a green orb near me.
Oh, shit.
We always joked about this orb, saying that it was a ghost, but none of us ever actually believed that it was. This ghost tour was honestly uneventful, or so we thought. Over the next few years, my parents had decided to get a divorce. In 2016, my dad moved my brother Connor and I to North Carolina with him to live with our new step family, while my sister Taylor stayed in Georgia to complete college. The divorce of my parents, moving in the middle of my sophomore year of high school, and now living with a step family were all huge changes that I struggled with for a really long time. I began having panic attacks and nightmares due to the stress that I was under from all of these changes. To say the least, this was a really hard time for everyone in my family. Around this time, Taylor, who was now 18, began experiencing terrible sleep paralysis nightmares. One random day in 2018, Taylor texted me the picture of me with the green orb from that ghost tour that we had taken 5 years earlier. In her text, she wrote, quote, "Look behind your shoulder. Do you see that figure behind you? How have we never seen this before?"
What the fuck?
God.
Is there a picture?
Yeah, there are. When I
pulling
looked
up
at this
email.
picture, I had seen thousands of times. I was shocked. Behind me was a figure that was not a living person. I could see an eye, nose, mouth, and shape of this figure. It was wearing a dark robe, almost like a nun. Although this freaked us out a little bit, no one in my family really thought about it too much. A few months later, when I was 17, I started to experience sleep paralysis. My first encounter with sleep paralysis began with a nightmare. In my nightmare, I was being chased by someone trying to kill me. I jolted awake before they got to me, but I wasn't really awake. I was aware that I was in my room, but I could not move my body. My eyes wandered around the room until they landed on something that was out of the ordinary. On top of the tall dresser that faced my bed was a dark figure. I could not make out any of the features on this figure, but I knew it was not good. As soon as my eyes had landed on it, this shadowy figure leaped onto my chest. I could feel its pressure like it was trying to get inside of me. I was very aware that this figure was trying to possess me. Although I tried to wiggle, move, and scream, I could not do anything. I just lied there, terrified, trying to fight off this thing with my mind.
My God.
Finally, either in my mind or out loud, I screamed my favorite Bible verse at this creature. It was as if the thing had gotten backhanded the way that it flew off of me and onto the back of my bedroom wall before dashing out of my bathroom door. I have chills
Oh my God.
all over my body. I feel like I just got Botox the way that my face is so tight.
Oh my God.
Oh my Christ. Literally. I was too scared to go back to sleep, so I stayed awake all night until it began to get light outside. In the morning, Connor came into my room asking, "Why were you in my room last night?"
Shut
the fuck up.
Connor, shut the fuck up
Oh
right
my
now.
God. Confused, I told him that I hadn't gone into his room last night. He said, quote, "Yes, you were. You were standing in front of my bathroom door. I tried to tell you to leave, but I couldn't move. Finally, you just walked back into your room through the bathroom." I forgot to mention that Connor and
Chills down to the kneecaps.
Oh my God. This is the worst part. She and Connor had Jack and Jill styled rooms, so it's connected by a fucking bathroom.
Oh my God.
I'm sick. After hearing this, I told Connor about what I had experienced that night. We were both freaked out, but didn't really know what to do about it. Had we both just seen a demon, a ghost, or coincidentally had the same freaky nightmares that same night? A few months passed until my next encounter with sleep paralysis. This encounter started the same way that the last one had. I woke up from my nightmare and I saw the figure on my dresser. Then the figure leaped onto my chest. This figure, however, had some very distinguishable features. It was in the shape of a cat perched on a ledge with the beak of a crow. Oh my God.
No, my stomach just hit my asshole. It just hit me.
I'm not okay. I'm going to burp. It had the darkest, beadiest eyes that I had ever seen. Just like the first figure, I was aware that this thing was trying to possess me. This time, I knew to try and yell a Bible verse at it to get it the hell away from me. I added the hell because I needed that to be said. However, when I was finally able to do so, the thing did not jump off of me. Instead, it just threw its head back in laughter. It spoke with a dark, rough voice. "That won't work this time."
Oh no.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
This time.
I was ready for you to. "That won't work this time."
Nice try.
Oh my God. What the fuck?
No, what the fuck?
As it continued to dig inside of me.
Oh fuck. Dude.
I remember trying to fight it off, but I eventually fell back asleep But I eventually fell back into sleep and I woke up fine the next morning. By 2019, I was 18. I had moved out for college. I had no longer experienced sleep paralysis or nightmares every night. I thought maybe all of this was behind me. That is until 2021 rolled around. Sometime in the summer of 2021, I decided to take a trip home to visit my family from college. During this visit, my dad and I binge watched the Conjuring movies together. I can't even finish this.
You have to.
Oh my God.
Not
Oh
The
my God.
Conjuring.
After the second movie, I decided to take a walk by myself to get some fresh air. On this walk, I saw something so disturbing. It brought me right back to the first time I saw the weird figure behind me from the ghost tour picture in 2013. On the side of the road, near the sidewalk, was the exact face of the figure from the ghost tour. Get that the fuck away from me, Morgan. She's showing me the picture. Get it the fuck away from my face right now. Get it away from me.
Bro.
I'm gonna punch you in the face. Are you kidding me? Stop. Oh my God. Not the alarm. I literally, my soul just left my body. There is no soul in me anymore. I'm a shell of a human being. What the fuck? Okay. Oh my God. Okay. I saw the same exact face of the figure from the ghost tour picture. Not only was this incredibly creepy, but this figure also resembled the nun from the Conjuring movies. Yeah, it sure fucking did.
I just showed Taylor
sure
her
did.
most tormented person
Oh my God.
ever.
When I realized this, I also realized that the figure from the ghost tour picture actually looked like the nun from all of those movies. I snapped a pic of the road and practically sprinted home. This was the last time I had any weird or scary encounters with this figure. The only other possibly paranormal activity that I have had was just a few weeks ago in 2022 in my college town. I was at my boyfriend's house in his roommate's room with his girlfriend, who is my friend. We were sitting on his bed watching Friends. Oh, iconic, love. Waiting for our booze to get home when I walked into the room and told my friend, this room is haunted. I have always felt intuitive and connected to the spiritual world, and I just had a feeling that we were no longer alone in this room. She laughed and we just started our show. About 10 minutes into the show, everything from her boyfriend's dresser fell off of it and onto the floor. We froze, just looking at each other. She said that she had never had this happen before, and I told her that I knew we were not alone and that it felt friendly though. We never had anything else weird happen in that house again. I am wondering if the figure I had been seeing was feeding off of the negativity and hurt that my family was feeling from 2013 to 2019. Perhaps we picked it up on the ghost tour, but it isn't with us anymore. I really don't know what the case would be, but I would love to hear any theories or advice that y'all have for me. None of my siblings or I have experienced sleep paralysis in the past 3 years or anything creepy regarding this figure. I will try to attach the photos that I mentioned in this story for you guys to see yourselves. Thanks so much, y'all.
No, we saw the photos.
Oh my God, Megan.
Okay.
Oh my God. Okay.
What is up? Okay, no. What is up with that spirit from The Conjuring?
No, the
Before
Conjuring.
the movie, before she even saw it, it shows up in her picture from Savannah way back when.
I don't know. But you know what's crazy is that they never saw this figure until 20.
Actually, the nun's not yours. It's the other
the
lady.
next one
Okay.
is mine, not the nun. But I wonder what year the nun came out, because what's odd to me is that the sister didn't notice the figure in the back until she was off at college. So what was
it developed itself
like
there?
2016, I guess, was around that time.
It's probably when The Conjuring came out.
Yeah. So
'Cause this is the back of the photo.
yeah.
It's kind of hard to see, but I do see the outline.
Yeah, I do see the outline you're talking about. It's standing so weird too.
Yeah.
Wow. Look at the green orb right beside it.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You know what? I do believe that get that the fuck off of the screen, Morgan. I'm going to deck
You know those videos or those things on TikTok? They're like, stare at this red dot for 20 seconds, then lift your head up and it changes like the thing and
Yeah.
you see it. I see that face everywhere right now.
Oh
It's just
my
like in
God.
the corner of my eye.
So, okay, this is what I think. I think, yes, you're totally correct that you guys were in a bad place and that it attached to you guys, your family. Now, what's interesting is the way that it made its way to you and then Connor. So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So I wonder if it was actually and you were living with your dad at the time in North Carolina. So I wonder if it had been with your dad, but like parents, they're never going to tell you when something's like haunting. And also like on the side note of that, men are like, oh, that's so weird.
They're like, oh,
There's
I
a
mean-
demon sitting on my chest. Like
They're like, oh, that's just fucking weird,
But
bro.
the-
But it is what it
the
is.
demonic,
Who wants a Miller Lite?
literally, who wants spaghetti, angel hair,
Angel hair.
and a Miller Lite. So what I find, I think that happened, yes, and I think you picked up a dark, dark spirit. But what makes me feel like it truly is demonic is the way that you literally said a Bible verse, it flew the fuck off of you. But when it returned, it had distinctive features. I think it was the
Showed
exact
more
same.
itself,
It had more
yeah.
power. It gathered more power. And that is
That shit is terrifying.
terrifying.
Megan. Holy
Have you
fuck.
looked up? I don't recommend you to do this. I'm just wondering, curious. I'm going to end up doing it. Look up what entity presents itself in the way that you saw it.
Yeah.
But don't say the name out loud. Don't.
And if you read it, try not to.
and like don't read it in your home. Don't read it in your car. Read it in a neutral area, maybe like even a cemetery.
Starbucks.
Because, well, I was saying like a cemetery, like where there's a lot of peaceful spirits that have been like laid to rest, and that they're not going to.
So not a Starbucks.
Not a Starbucks.
Okay,
I mean,
yeah.
maybe if it's like a Starbucks that was built on top of like a burial, like maybe you
Okay.
could do it there, you know? But yeah, or a church, like if that's what you practice, it's somewhere that's a neutral space where you have the power or you have things that can protect you to be your own power, and see what it is. I think Susan would literally slit my throat if I looked it up, though.
Yeah, I'm not going to be looking it up, but I've stared at your picture at least for 10 minutes.
Psycho.
now.
I literally can't. But Megan, I'm really happy that this is not happening to you anymore. But I will say that I think in your best interest, because once something like that does attach onto you, when you're in a bad spot, it likely will do it again when you're in a bad spot. So like,
Yeah.
even if you're having, things going on in your life that you feel like aren't that big of a deal, like, small things, I would say to keep yourself very much protected in whatever way you feel comfortable doing, because it is likely that it will come back for you to try and harp on your energy if
When
you're
you're feeling down again.
low. But thank you so much for sending that in. And
That
Susan's
was scary.
Susan's information is always in the description of this episode. So if you're watching on Apple, if you're watching on YouTube, scroll down to the description. If you're listening on Apple, you can scroll down to the show notes. And if you're listening on Spotify, same exact thing. Her number's on there. You literally just text her and say, "Hi, Susan, I would like a reading or a healing or a Reiki or whatever service you want." Or if you don't know what to say, like, "Hey, I would love to have a meeting with you. I'm from Creeps and Crime." So make sure you say that you're from Creeps and Crime so you can get your percentage off. But I think you should absolutely reach out in a way for her
yeah.
to, help you push, if anything is attached to you at all, off. Damn. Thank you so much, Megan.
Thanks, Megan.
Okay, so before we move on, we have a special message for you guys from Susan.
Well, hey, y'all. Thanks, Taylor, for
Yeah.
having me. Hi, I'm Susan with Angel Wings and Healing Things, the official go-to psychic medium of Creeps and Crimes.
Yes.
I wanted to hop on here and thank all of y'all so much for allowing me to read you. And those of you who may be a little bit nervous to reach out, I'm a real person. And you can hear my voice and hopefully be a little bit more comfortable with calling me. I've been a practicing medium for 30-some years. I use all senses. One of the things that people ask me all the time is, how do you read? I tap into your energy. So I use clear cognizance, meaning just knowing, clear aliens, which are, I probably say that one wrong, means clear smelling. Clear gustus means I taste it, which isn't always fun.
Oh.
Clear sentience means I feel it. So these are my main things that I use. And clairvoyance is just seeing, because I always tell y'all it goes across like a 8mm movie or whatever. So those are just some of the ways that I do things. And it's often hard to explain, but it works for me.
Right.
But as of now, I just wanted to say, hey, thank you, and send you all white light and love. If you ever need me, my information's always in the show description of Creepy Account episodes. Feel free to shoot me a text, give me a call to schedule an appointment. Just be sure to say what you're looking for and that you got my information from Creeps and Crime, so I can always give you that special discount.
Oh, yeah.
I can do readings over the phone, video chat, or in person if you're located here in the Knoxville area. I look forward to connecting with you. Thank you.
God, thank you so much, Susan. I'm so glad that you guys finally got to hear from Susan, and I can't wait to bring you back on.
I'm excited to come back.
We're gonna get like a psychic medium creepy account.
Oh,
like
that'd be
your
cool.
creepiest one. That would be so good.
That'd be cool.
so good. Okay, guys. Well, thank you and enjoy the rest of the show. Bye.
Bye.
Alrighty, the next one is from Shelby using pronouns she, her. Hey, Taylor and Morgan, I sent you a message on Instagram that something incredibly strange happened to me recently, and I had to submit it for a creepy account because I need someone else to try and understand what the fuck is going on in Iowa. Okay, Here it goes.
And I need to pause, Morgan, really quickly because when this came in, I was getting my nails done. By the way, look how cute my nails are. I got colored for the first
Immediate
time.
got a text. Shelby Creepy Cow. Google. You gotta go on there right now.
I literally texted. I was like, "Are you at lunch? Because you need to be in this email right now. Because what the fuck is going on in Iowa?"
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay. So Shelby says, I work weekends at a hospital, which means 40-hour shifts between Saturdays and Sundays. One weekend, about 13 hours into my shift, a horrible car accident was reported over the ER scanner. We are a smaller hospital and normally wouldn't take severe cases. We are about an hour from the largest hospital in the state, plus many other larger hospitals. But because of another pile-up accident that happened just a few hours earlier, this accident was routed to us. It was a one-car accident, cause still unknown to this day, which is one of the craziest parts of the story. It was a beautiful day, and even after an investigation, there are still no answers. But I'm getting ahead of myself. When the first ambulance pulled up, a mother in her 30s, we'll call her Sam, was transported to one of our trauma rooms. She was conscious but in a horrible condition. She was screaming about something that we couldn't understand until a second ambulance pulled up. Her 5-year-old son, we'll call him Parker,
Oh, God.
was with her when the car crashed. He was in better shape than his mom, but still severely injured, with very apparent leg injuries and a head laceration. He was calm, but he kept repeating the same statement over and over. They told me they would crash my car. They told me they would crash mommy's car.
Oh my God.
This statement wasn't a priority for us as his medical team, so we quickly went to work to assess his injuries.
But as a creeps and crimer, you're like, let me write this down.
Yeah, you're like eyes open.
Yeah.
Ears on lock.
Right.
He was calm throughout the entire exam, just repeating those words. After many stitches in his head and several x-rays later, I got him settled in his room with a small TV and a cup of milk. I went to go check on his mom, although I thought it was strange that he had never asked about her. As soon as I walked back into the trauma bay, I knew. Sam hadn't survived the crash.
Oh my God.
The police were searching for family members to contact, and when I went back to check on Parker, some of the officers that were with him asking him questions. As a foster parent trained in trauma, I wanted to be with Parker and make sure that he felt safe until we could reach a relative to care for him. When I went in, the officers immediately asked if it was possible to talk to Sam, as they were still trying to understand what happened to cause her car to crash. As soon as they asked, I looked at Parker, who seemed to be zoned out into the TV. I went to tell the officers that we should speak outside, but before I could say anything, Parker spoke up. Without looking up from his snack in the television, he says, "It's okay. I know she's dead now."
Oh my God.
I was completely stunned, but I thought maybe he had overheard some of our medical staff talk about what had happened. I went and knelt by him, trying to console him. I asked him if he wanted to talk about it or if he had any questions, and that finally got his attention. He looked at me with the coldest stare and said, quote, "They told me she was going to die." And then his attention went straight back to the TV. My body went cold. This statement got one officer's attention, as the other had stepped away for a phone call. The officer immediately asked me who they were, and I told her what he was saying when he first came into the ER a few hours earlier. As I was telling the officer, whose back was to Parker, I noticed that Parker's attention was back on me. And when I glanced at him, I noticed he was smiling at me. Not like a normal smile, more like a smirk. I got full body chills instantly, and I was incredibly uncomfortable in that room. Oh my God. I told the officer I needed to check on other patients, and I quickly left the room. They eventually found Parker's dad, who showed up at the ER a few hours after the crash. He was in complete disbelief as to where his wife was going, or even why she would be in the road that she was on. They live in a small town close to a big city that they frequent often for groceries, appointments, etc., but she was going in the opposite direction. She hadn't texted him that she was leaving, which was extremely unlike her, especially because they are expecting company that afternoon. I never talked with Parker again, so I never got to ask him the many questions I have. Although, to be honest, I don't know that I want the answers. I still get chills just thinking about what happened during this weekend shift, and I think about that family often. I have my thoughts and theories about what had happened, but I would love to hear what you both and your listeners think.
First off, this literally sounds like a creepypasta.
It reminds me of a movie, and I don't remember the movie exactly,
I know
but
what
it's
you're talking
about
about.
kids, and I think it has Nicolas Cage in it.
I think I know what you're talking about because it reminds me. It literally sounds similar to me.
It's not The Last Mimsy, but it's something like that.
Yeah.
And they go with these, like, aliens want the kids, and they tell them that they're gonna kill these people, and only the kids know.
Oh, it's Tom Cruise and the
think it's Tom
water,
Cruise.
right? The water. It's not Tom Cruise. It's Alien. Is it Alien or the
No.
Signs, or is it Signs?
No, it's nothing like that.
Well, that's literally the one I'm thinking about, where it has water. The girl that has water. It's not Dakota Fanning, but it's the other girl who always played in like movies when she was little.
I don't know.
I don't know either. Either way, it might have been The Last Mimsy. It wasn't The Last Mimsy, but that's like the era that it came in.
Yeah.
I know exactly what we're talking about.
I am like stuck on theories for this.
I'm sick.
Like, I don't know if it was like something like out of this world or like something supernatural that was telling him that, or was it something like did his mom
Were they
know
like
something?
physically being chased by someone is what, like,
Or was it
if I'm thinking
Parker?
like in a true crime mind, they said, who's they? Like all of these questions, like they were chasing, they said they were going to crash mommy's car. Who's they? So, and it's a single car accident. So was someone else driving? Like, was mom driving? Do we know that for sure? Was there somebody else in the car at all that maybe like had her at gunpoint, forcing her to drive the way that she was going, not in the direction? Like if I'm thinking about it from a true crime standpoint. Now, what I find odd, what makes me not put any true crime into this at all, is his reactions, his all knowing,
Smile.
and his smirk, his he.
I literally have a vivid picture of a little boy sitting in a hospital bed smiling at her.
Oh my God, me too. And what's so odd, I truly think that this is like something supernatural, whether that means like extraterrestrial or paranormal.
Yeah.
I don't know
I
which it
agree.
is. I'm really.
And what if it was like
What do you mean?
Parker?
Oh yeah, that's another thing. I mean, the smile.
Like he had voices.
That's not a normal reaction. Yes, the voices. It's not a normal reaction. And like, I don't know.
That is a scary fucking story.
Shelby, fuck. I need you to DM us and tell us what your theories are and like what chatter you have heard, because
I would love to know.
I'm gonna have to dig into it if not, because I'm really thrown off by this. Okay, well, thank you so much, Shelby, for sending that in, and we need more.
What about the dad?
What's up with Dad? We need more deeds.
Why did he take so long to come in?
And just know that I'm going to have to dig into that. Okay, so this next one is from Jamie. Hello. So this is the story of the encounter my family had with a ghost living in Villisca, Iowa. So when I was like 3 or 4 years old, my family moved to Villisca, Iowa, about 3 blocks from where the Villisca, is that how I keep thinking I'm saying it wrong, so I'm sorry if I am, but I know I'm not. We looked up the pronunciation. Axe Murder House.
Oh shit.
Which I do have a story on if you would like to hear it. We would love to hear it. So my parents rented this house because it was just so cheap. At the time, the owners didn't have to tell you anything about like bad that happened in the house. Well, my mom did some research and found that the man that had lived there in the house before us, trigger warning, had committed suicide in the master bedroom of the house. His wife had apparently left him and took their kids to a different town. I don't remember a lot about it, except that I used to be able to hear someone walking down the stairs when no one was actually there.
Shit.
It was an old house, so everything creaked. My mom told me that they would get charged for long distance phone calls that were made from our house while no one was home. My sister, who was older, 12 at the time, said that she was supposed to be home by herself one day for like 30 minutes. When she first got home, she heard a big boom come from upstairs and then a giant thud. So she ran across the street to a friend's house and was refusing to go back inside until someone checked out the house. My dad came home and checked it out, and no one was there and nothing was out of place. My mom told me that there was one night she was laying in the bed half asleep when she felt the bed sink in next to her.
No.
She assumed that it was my father, who had worked nights around this time, and that he had just gotten home. She didn't roll over or anything, but then someone grabbed her thigh, and her thinking that it was my father was like, okay, sounds fun, let's do this. That's way too gross for me to think about, though.
Oh my God.
She then was rolled onto her back and realized that no one was there.
Oh my God.
But she could feel a heavy weight on top of her, and she said she could feel someone kissing and breathing on her neck.
No. Fuck no. Fuck no. Fuck no.
She
fuck
said the edge of her clothes were being yanked off, and she had no fight left to get up and turn the lights on. So it was like draining her.
no. Oh my God.
Oh my God. So, trigger warning. My mom basically almost got raped by a ghost. She also has sleep paralysis and said that this experience was way different.
So it wasn't sleep paralysis.
No. Well, I'm sorry for the long post. This was not long at all, girl. This is a short one.
We love it.
Love it. I really love your guys' podcast. It makes me feel like I'm telling spooky stories with my friends.
That's actually fucking horrific.
Yeah.
Like out of any type of haunting, to be sexually assaulted too, like
by
that,
a ghost.
Yeah.
No, that's not cool.
'Cause you literally can't
You
fight back.
can't-
You can't do anything.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
You know? Wow. I'm really sorry that happened to your mom.
Yeah.
But Jesus,
traumatizing.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Thanks for sending that in, though,
Thank
Jamie.
you. The next one we have is from Deanna, using pronouns she, her. Hello, ladies. I'm writing from way up there in North Dakota.
Oh,
Deanna. Babe.
it's
Deanna, send us a picture if you're really in North Dakota.
if you're in North Dakota, send us a picture beside the sign that says "Welcome to North Dakota." And I don't know.
I am obsessed with your podcast and I'm currently caught up on all seasons. Guess I have to become a patron so I can listen to more.
Ooh.
I listen to you guys when I'm driving, cleaning, need to check out, and just chill. And when I get ready for work every morning, putting my face on.
Oh, me too.
Hell yeah. Anyways, I have a creepy story of what happened to me when I moved into my then boyfriend, now husband's house. They were all men living there before I moved in. His brother, my brother, and my husband. Total bachelor pad with beer signs as decor, mismatched furniture, no dining table, and random items that were donated from family members.
It's really like an iconic.
So it's Aaron's college house.
Literally, it's Logan's apartment, 2 apartments before this.
Perfect.
It's literally just like a thrift store in there.
Yeah. So when I moved in, the guy, and they love it. They think it looks so good.
No, they're like, this is dope. We need more flags on the wall. And we're like, no, you're good. I promise. You're
Oh my
Gucci.
God. So when I moved in, the guys had already left and moved on with their girlfriends. So it was just me and him. I asked him if I could paint the walls a different color, get some new things, like things that were matching, anything, since nothing was matching. I also had an eerie feeling being alone in the house, like I couldn't relax or just be in my own space. I often went to my mom's unless he was home, and I ignored it for as long as I could, focusing on the fact that I'm actually living away from home and kind of on my own. One day I was home alone, cleaning, doing laundry, studying for my college classes, just normal stuff, when all of a sudden I heard a loud sound come from the bathroom. It sounded like a bunch of stuff falling over or something. I opened the door and I shit you not, all of my fucking makeup.
No.
Not the makeup.
No.
Hair products, toothbrush was thrown all over the bathroom floor.
That's where I draw the
Bathtub.
line.
Even the damn toilet had my eyeliner in it.
What?
There was just no way that all that shit just fell or something. It was on a small vanity shelf, but the shelf itself was still upright and wasn't moved at all.
Oh my God.
I told my husband what happened, and he agreed that it was weird. The bathroom had a window, but it didn't open since the house was super old, so it was just bizarre. We were talking about it being weird when my husband said that when him and the guys moved in there, they replaced the bathroom tub, shower, and found that the floor and interior walls were insulated with old Schultz beer cans, likely from the 50s or earlier.
Okay, this has been like a bachelor pad
this
for
has
20
been a frat
years.
house for 20 years.
Yeah.
That 50
well,
years.
more than that.
Come to find out, the previous owner of the house, who we thought was just an old lady, once had a husband who was an alcoholic. He was said to be not a very nice man, and people weren't surprised when they found out about the beer cans. As my husband and I slowly started remodeling the house, we were finding more and more beer cans in the walls. When we took out the chimney from the house, there were a bunch of unopened ones in there.
Oh my God.
We started in the kitchen, and when we tore out the very few cabinets that were there, we found a bunch of things that were very old and interesting. We found some old stamps from like a grocery store or something, and a bunch of food labels, a jar of homemade honey, a coconut,
Oh my God.
a photograph of a very pretty Hawaiian woman,
Oh.
and a journal.
A journal.
It was the lady who owned the house's stuff. She had a honey business back in the day, and I guess she just wanted to keep a jar. She was originally from Hawaii, so that explained the coconut as well. But when I got to her journal, it was insane. This lady would write out every day of her life. Most was just the weather, what she did, and stuff like that. But the last couple pages were about her husband and how she wanted to kill him.
Oh my God.
He obviously was mean to her, so I could see why she felt this way. And I did some more digging on the history of the house and owners, and guess what? The guy fucking died in the house from alcoholism. Stories from the neighbors said that he wouldn't let her dress up, wear makeup, or do anything to look nice. Oh my God, that's why your shit was thrown. She was absolutely beautiful in the photo of herself that she was found. So when I moved in and my makeup and shit was thrown all over the bathroom, it finally made sense. He was probably pissed. After we completely gutted the house and remodeled it, I didn't feel that presence anymore. It was like once we took out all of the beer cans and her momentum from her life, it all left. We are now 14 years into our home, and nothing haunts me except the sounds of my kids fighting and wrappers of the 1000th snack being opened. Years later, I boxed up all the stuff we found of her belongings and gave it to her niece. She was so happy to see the photo, the coconut, and a jar of honey. Yes, and I did give her the journal. It was filled with a routine of how her now past aunt and her beautiful handwriting. I'm sure she found the last couple pages and read them. Something tells me that she probably already knew about her aunt and uncle's life. Anyway, thanks for reading this if you did, and I can't wait to binge the next seasons.
Oh my God.
Tiara?
The tea.
Tiara?
The tea. I want, okay, every story that's sent in for the next 2 weeks, okay, because y'all always send in an influx right after we put one of these out.
Yeah.
I need them to be scandals like this. Like,
Scandals.
I
Give us
love,
the tea.
I love a journal moment. Like, do I find it very like intrusive to look through a living person's journal?
Right.
Absolutely. But I'm going
A
to
good scandal.
right.
The tea.
I want some like.
She's like, I
piping
want to
hot
kill my
goss.
husband.
Yeah.
So do you think she did?
I don't.
Do you
know.
think she was like, you want more beer?
Oh, here, you want some beer? I don't know, but I wonder. I just find it so crazy. He threw the fucking makeup.
What I think is weird is that all the beer is hidden in the walls.
Yeah, he put them all in there. I mean,
The
that's
chimney, unopened.
that's signs of alcoholism.
Yeah.
you know,
Unopened,
hiding them around. I actually watched this TikTok the other day, and it was about things that alcoholics do that you never would think, or people who are people who have like addictive personalities to certain drugs. So whether it's drugs, alcohol, whatever. And they were talking about, this guy was talking about how when he was in the middle of his alcoholism, he would hide it from his wife by setting up the sink and pouring like 2 shots of Everclear into a glass that looked like it was floating in water, and he would put some trash in it so it looked like it was to be thrown away, and he would get up before her in the morning and go do the dishes and take that shot of Everclear after taking like all the trash that he had put inside of it out.
Damn.
Like that.
It's extensive measures.
Right. And I was just like so blown away about that. You know what I mean? Like, you know, but I guess that's what people who face alcohol abuse or drug abuse in any way, shape, or form do. So I don't know. I wonder if she killed him.
I know. Me too.
Oh my God.
I bet she
wow.
did.
I bet she was beautiful.
I know. I bet she's gorgeous.
And she just so wanted to like be herself and like feel pretty. Because that's another thing is like a lot of men think that, or people think that women only put makeup on for other people. Like I put makeup on because
For myself.
I like to feel confident.
Yeah.
And sometimes if I need an extra boost and I don't have any makeup on, I'm going to go do my makeup to the gods. I'm beating the hell out of my face. You know what I mean? Okay. Well, thank you, Deanna. For
Yeah, that
sending
was
this.
awesome.
I
Thank you.
loved it. Thank you so much.
Okay, the next one we have is from Logan Cheher. Hey guys, first off, love ya. Love the banter and I never skip. Big fan. Love your energy.
Love this.
Anyway, I wrote a story about my parents' haunted ass house a few months ago and mentioned an acid trip gone bad. This is that story. I remember that. Honestly, the DMT episode followed by Richard Ramirez I listened to this morning, I keep up with y'all, okay? Really prompted me to want to finally get this out. So I hope it's not too long.
Oh my God.
Okay, so for starters, I'm not new to acid. I'm 26 and I've done it since 18. More than most normal people, but not like back to back. I'm not fried is what I'm getting at. Like my first experience was tripping balls seeing Skrillex at Voodoo Fest in 2014.
Holy shit.
Great times. But since about age, I'd say 20, it's mostly just a sleepover thing. I have so many amazing stories of bonding, laughing till you're on the floor, fully crying from laughter, no bad memories until October 2021. I'm a spooky bitch. I once tripped alone in my room and start to finish watched The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. So good, so fun. That's the kind of shit I like when I trip. Provokes joy in my heart. 2 of my absolute gems of friends are always down for spooky Insidious 1 and 2, back to back. Shout out. Anyway, okay. October 2022, my friends, not changing their names, they went through so much they deserve the recognition. Kayla, Zoe, and I were at my old, Zoe or Zoe?
Zoe.
Zoe and I were at my old ass New Orleans apartment. Kayla had liquid acid, so we dropped a single dose on a little gummy bat because Halloween. Everything was good and well and fine, but I decided, I could do more. My fucking mistake.
Oh shit.
So Kayla, being the down ass bitch she is, she said, cool, let's do it. Zoe is smart, so she did not. LMAO. We're in my living room, vibing, things are chill. We watched an old ass DVD that my mom got me because of how much I loved it as a kid, called Spooky Tales and Tunes.
Ooh.
The entirety of the DVD, they were both like, bitch, what even is this? Like I said, all is so well. Kayla then gets a phone call and we kind of depart a little because she's talking and we're not like doing everything together. I laid on the wood floor and started having some, let's say, issues. My vision tunneled and became a bit blue. The walls were blue, so we're chalking it up to that. But like I said, spooky bitch. That's where this comes in. I love slasher movies, like campy slashers. Have you seen AHS 1984? Yes, I have. Hence the Night Stalker inspired me to write this. That's my vibe. That's also the vibe that was happening now, LOL. I was relatively all right. I'm comfy in that headspace, oddly enough. But this is where it gets weird. I couldn't speak. I could hear them saying my name, asking if I was okay, but I couldn't respond. I used my arms to drag myself from the wood floor into the white tile kitchen because I, for some reason, couldn't use my legs. Bad. Very bad. My vision went fucking green and I couldn't see shit. Now the vibe, original Saw. Wish
shit.
I was kidding. Like them all in that white room and they have to saw off a limb. Torture porn is my least favorite kind of horror movie. I actually hate it. So this was horrible for me.
Oh, God.
I have no idea what was going on in my head. Like something was brewing, but thank fuck for trauma response because I was forgetting as it was happening. I remember fear, but not what I feared. I was crying and saying weird shit, apparently. But they were also tripping. So they were like, dude, what the actual fucking fuck? It felt like hours, and it probably was. None of us can really tell you. But I was inconsolable. And Zoe ended up contacting my boyfriend, who lived over an hour and a half away to come help. I wasn't aware of this till a bit later because, you know, the biggest ego death I could have imagined. So they got me into a tub and I was holding my knees, crying and shaking. When asked what I was going on, I'd say not sure, which haunts all of us to this day. I was begging for mercy, actually out loud asking whatever was torturing me to please have mercy on me. Yeah, begging, crying, shaking. Something was very wrong. To be honest, it felt like the devil, but I just can't verify that. In the midst of this episode in the tub, my darling roommate and bestie came home. She has also been alerted of this issue in her apartment, and having done L with me for many years, she was also like, what the fuck? But she sat on the floor and said, I actually have a gift for you, and gave me a pink macrame ghost face, crying, how sweet. I told you, spooky bitch. More gifts in October than my birthday in July. What a perfect time, though. We stand a Cancer queen. I started to calm down a little, then realized I couldn't remember what had happened at all. Nothing, just feeling. I'm naked at this point. Things had gotten not great an hour or so before this, and at this point, you may be thinking, where is my boyfriend? Well, 3-hour traffic due to an 18-wheeler accident on a bridge that goes over miles of water. Super great, loved that. He finally got there after I had come out of it. Lucky him, and I was fine. Flash forward. Black mold. Yes, black mold in the apartment. I blame that. It helps. I moved out and into my boyfriend's house. Still had to pay rent, though. Landlord said an inspection was useless. We fucking hate her. To this day, I have no earthly clue what I was seeing or hearing to provoke the reactions I had. I had no idea. We're all still fucking confused. And don't you worry, I absolutely did it again with Kayla at the last ever BUKU festival at Mardi Gras World in New Orleans. Big RIP. By the way, I was fine. It was like every other times before that. Fun, positive, and uplifting.
Good.
So I'm blaming the mold. But maybe it was just all a needed ego death. I do be sucking my own dick, not gonna lie. Thank you for reading this thick ass story. I have 4 gummy worms in my fridge with liquid dropping on them, and we'll be watching my favorite scary movies on it very soon. I'm a person who doesn't learn. I love you guys. And Morgan, please give Ollie a big old kiss on the nose for me. Your spooky friend Logan.
Logan, I fuck with you so
energy
hard.
is just there.
It just expands. So
Yeah.
and not to mention, Logan literally sent us a photo book of every friend that we needed
She was
to
like,
know.
this is Zoe, this is Kayla, this is me, this is my boyfriend.
This is my
This is us
boyfriend.
that night. This is me at a festival. So gorgeous.
Oh my god, we were literally like, oh my god, that
Stunning.
outfit.
I love her.
that.
Stunning.
Are you kidding me? What the fuck type of friend group is this?
I love them.
I love them. Okay, like I'm not down to do all the crazy shit drugs that y'all do, but I'll come fucking sit with you while you do 'em.
Yeah, I'll come sit with you while
That
you do
would
it.
be so fun.
But that is crazy though about black mold because people do say black mold causes hallucinations.
It does. And I wonder if like putting you in the bathroom made it 10 times worse.
Probably because that's where it's
Black mold.
black.
Black mold.
That's real moldy.
Well, you should have gotten a mold kit. Morgan knows a lot about that.
I do know a lot about mold kits.
I love
Turns out they don't hold up in court, I'm guessing.
Well, if
No lawyer likes me.
Oh, Logan, I fucking love you. Send us in another fucking story.
Logan, keep sending them in. I'll read yours every month.
Literally, I swear to God, if we could just have one Logan segment at the end of every single creepy account, I would love that.
Hi, welcome to TFU with Logan.
Literally, it's so fucking funny. I love Logan. Logan, I love you. Thanks so much for sending that in.
Thank you.
Okay, so this is written in by Peyton using she, her pronouns. Okay, so I wanted to say that I love your podcast and I listen to it on a regular basis. I have a creepy account and I tried to ignore them, but now listening to this podcast, I have to tell it. So I was in my bed watching a horror movie when my dogs started barking and I ignored it because they bark at literally anything that moves or make noises.
Fair.
As I continued to watch my movie, my dogs still kept barking. Now, keep it in mind that they bark at anything moving or making noise, and it hit me. There's no one downstairs because my parents are out of town and everyone else was in bed. I decided to look at the time, and it was around 2:50, almost 3. I decided to be an idiot and see what it was that they were barking at. So I got out of bed and went downstairs. I went to turn on the light switch, but it wouldn't turn on.
Oh, God.
I thought to myself, just great. So I had to see in the dark. I saw my dogs and they were wild. And when I say wild, I mean they were running around in circles, barking. And I was looking around to see what they were barking at. And then I saw it. I have a glass sliding door that leads outside. And it has a light right above it.
No.
It was on, but no other light. There was a tall black figure, and the only thing that I could see was its face, or that's what was supposed to be there. He had no eyes, no mouth,
No.
nothing. I was terrified, but the only thing that really scared me was that I couldn't move anymore. I was frozen. I couldn't move a finger. I was still just standing there while it stared at me. I had tears running down my face. What was whack as fuck was my dogs stopped barking and sat next to the door just staring at me. At this point, I'm thinking, this is where my life ends. This is how I die.
I would be like, I'm dead.
I'm dead.
I'm done.
I'm dead. And the dog's turning on me? What the fuck, bitch? This has me mine. Turn the fuck around and look at this the figure standing out here. Go fucking look at me. Look at it.
How dare you?
What the fuck are you looking at? Turn the fuck around, bitch. I would literally be so mad at the dogs, I would get rid of them. I would literally like, Morgan, come pick up your fucking nephews. I'm done. They're done. I quit.
Poor angels.
Okay. They just stared at me. At this point, I'm thinking that this is where my life ends. This is how I die. But then my sister came downstairs and the thing just vanished. And my dogs, they passed out.
What the fuck?
I was still crying. And when I looked at my sister, she was looking at me worried.
No, the dogs are playing motherfucking dead. They're like, wasn't me,
Like,
Nancy.
I swear to God, we didn't do anything. We're like, bro, really, get the fuck up. Get the fuck up. You're done. You're done. I couldn't, and asked if I was okay. I couldn't tell her because she was too young to understand. God, that's some older sister shit right there. Right. Oh my God. I get this fully, Peyton. Because she was too young to understand. But to this day, I wonder what would have happened if she didn't come down the stairs and if it would have been able to come inside of my home. I'm still terrified and my dogs are okay, just so you know. Well, I'm fucking pissed at them for you.
Well, I'm glad your dogs are okay.
Well, good for them because you're not okay. Fuck. This was my creepy account, and I love you guys so much. I love your podcast. I love you too, Peyton, but fuck your dogs. What were they doing?
Well, I think it was more so like they were protecting her at first. They were like, "Bitch, look at the door!" Like, you know, going crazy,
running in circles.
Yeah, and he was that whatever that being was out there because it's clearly not human.
No,
if it had no fucking eyes, mouth, or whatever eyebrows.
The way
nostrils.
that they turned and looked at you, like,
no, I would have been like, "What? What is it? What's behind me?"
No, there was something behind you, Peyton.
No, Peyton, I don't want to scare you, but
Peyton,
what if there was?
Peyton, there was something behind you.
And they were like, stay calm.
They were just like, don't move. And then they just like pulled all of their energy out trying to protect you and they passed out. Okay, fine, I forgive the dogs now.
Okay, I also forget the dogs.
I don't know. I'm gonna think about it a little bit longer.
Because my immediate thought, if Ollie sits down after barking at something, sits down and is just looking at me,
Something's behind you
something's behind me.
now. I hate it. I don't love it at all. I hate it.
I hate that story. Okay, Peyton, I'm
Hey,
glad
that
you're
was
okay.
a good fucking one.
Yeah, thank
Hey,
you for
that's a
ending
good one.
us on that.
Yeah, I'm sick. All right, we gotta go.
Love you guys. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
You creepy motherfuckers.
Happy Halloween.
I just want to let you know that we've been drinking this fucking witch's brew this whole entire time, and it is the worst. So if you're on YouTube and you saw me about passing out every time I took a sip, mind your business.
Mind your business.
Because it's fucking just straight vodka.
Oh my God.
And Cointreau and whatever it's
Act
called.
like the dogs and mind your fucking business.
Act like the dogs and just look behind me. And also the witch's brew, let me tell you, we're sniffing out bullshit.
Yeah.
On creepy accounts. Y'all better be sending in real, not any of these that we read. We don't question.
No, there was
But-
one that we had to take out.
But we wrote one or we read one and we took it out because it was definitely fake.
yeah, so why the fuck would you send us in some creepy shit thing and we don't know what's creepy, fake,
We're like,
creepy?
there's literally no way.
We're like, physically, that can't happen. So, no.
Oh, shit.
We literally are conspiracy paranormal queens. What are you talking about?
Anyway, the witches were making us act up.
Yeah, we did.
We
did.
almost called you out on here.
We ripped you apart to be real. And the first thing that we should have known, because whenever someone sends something in and there's like not a lot of detail about it, we typically want to go and ask you questions. So we'll look you guys up on social media and then DM you. This person didn't exist. And I was like, oh, well, it's because they're young, because this person was young. No, you're just a fucking dirty liar. Don't lie to us. Are you kidding me? I kind of want to say your name on here because I'm feeling this witch's brew. I'm feeling like a witch bitch.
I'm feeling like the bitches brews really coming out. All right, happy Halloween. Love you. Bye.
We love you. Happy Halloween. Yeah. Oh, is this our third Halloween together? It's our third Halloween with you guys. Oh, I love you guys. Okay, happy Halloween 333. Mwah. Bye.